right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Fourth and Forever. Haven't had a show in a little bit, and you see two new faces. Neither of them are Mason. Mason is on vacation this week, but I decided to bring, a KTSW Takeover to San Marvelous Media and Fourth and Forever. I'm happy to have these two guys on, Kaden, Bessent, and Ben Cameron. Please talk about what you guys do at KTSW and anything else you want to plug.
Dude, a whole lot of broadcasting, right? That's our thing. That's what we love to do. So happy to get on and talk ball. That's our favorite thing to do.
Yeah, love calling some games and hopping on the mic talking some sports. That's
I'm sure it's a nice change of pace.
That's kind of all we do. Yeah.
I'm sure it's a nice change of pace from talking about Texas State sports and maybe calling high school games, which I'm sure you guys love to do. Like no hate to it, but I'm sure it's also nice just to get on the mic and just talk about whatever you want with football and anything. So happy to have you guys on, man.
Way better than a normal job, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, absolutely.
I was literally just saying today on the radio show how I'm tired of talking about Texas State football because they suck and no one likes talking about trash teams.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit like fatiguing, having to be like, will our defense be good?
Yeah.
Say it again.
It's like beating a dead horse.
It really is, yeah, because it's just nothing's gonna get better with the defense just like in a matter of a week or two, and like and he's not gonna fire the D coordinator, so we're kind of just stuck in this bad season. Yeah. But it is what it is, man. Do you guys want to get right into the trade deadline stuff? Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Please, no one wants to hear about Texas State football. They're probably
we're done with it then.
Yeah, no, I'm with them. I wouldn't have said it as harshly, but hey, man.
You guys don't want to talk about Radler football or volleyball or?
Nah.
No. Well, no problem then. We'll get right in the trade deadline then. So first trade, the most notable one that I thought in my eyes, guys, was Sauce Gardner going to the Colts for 2 first-round picks from the Jets. Immediate thoughts was, wow, the Colts just got a lot better. And also, too, I didn't know the price tag for these defensive players was so high. I guess Micah Parsons kind of reset the market a little bit. But then...
Yeah, I do...
Go ahead, Ben. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm just saying I do think Gardner is one of the top corners in the league. I don't think he's a PS2, right? But he has his... he's still very good. And at first, I didn't even see that they gave up 2 firsts for him. And I was like, but they looked like they can contend and possibly win a Super Bowl, and they went after and got their, I think where they were weakest. So, I think it was a good move. It's a nice risk.
I agree. I like that the owner kind of is like, it's her first year, after her father died, and just kind of like making a statement move like this is pretty significant. Kaden, do you have anything on it?
No, I like you mentioning the Irsay daughters because, like, dude, what owners are going out there taking notes too? That's like a legit commitment to what you're doing. Because, like, you compare that to Jerry Jones, who is literally talking about this $100 billion worth of oil this week. Now, they did make moves. We'll talk about
sitting
that.
in the box with Stephen A. Smith.
But, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the commitment to, like, that is her job and is winning. Like, that's rare in National Football League this year.
Yeah, I agree. Also, too, speaking of the Cowboys, Quentin Williams from the Jets going to the Cowboys for a 2027 first-round pick. Kind of shocking to see the Cowboys give a pick that high. For a defensive player, kind of that they kind of already had, Micah Parsons, obviously on the Packers now. What do you guys make of that? 3-5-1 doesn't look like they're really going to be in the hunt for a playoff spot unless they make a big run. But I think it's kind of a shocking move. What do you guys think?
I think they can make a big run. That offense showed like what it can do. It looks a little inconsistent, especially against the Cardinals, right? Because they played the Broncos. It's like that's the Broncos. Like that defense is insane. But then they were kind of disappointing against the Cardinals this past week. But 3-5. You can win 5 in a row. I saw the hot buns Broncos win 5 in a row with Russell Wilson, right? And you can all of a sudden you're 8-5-1 and you're in a playoff spot or possibly, right? And I don't know why they traded Parsons, but they've turned it into 2 good D tackles and a first-round pick, or at least they used one of them. And
maybe he was cooking.
Well, let's see. It's really, really weird kind of way to go about it. Like, okay, they just gave away one of the best defensive players in the league, and then now they're fighting for it again. And this whole time, you're like, oh, if only they had that piece. Imagine. And I don't know. It's very confusing trying to see where they're at.
And with the trades, it's like time will always tell when you're trading for picks and stuff. But I think, like, for the Cowboys, they can really make a run, bro. It sounds crazy to say, and they're putting investment into that defense, which needs it.
Sounds like every Cowboys fan I've heard this week.
And I'm not a Cowboys fan, dude. I'm a freaking Cardinals fan, and they just put belt to you know what on them. And I mean, like, you can lose 8 or 9 games and make the playoffs in the NFL. I mean, we've seen it happen a million times. They're now at 7 seeds instead of 6. Now, obviously, that division with the Packers, Vikings, Lions, Bears, looks like all 4 might make it this year, so maybe not for the Cowboys, but, like, it's never over in the NFL. The way the Commanders look, they don't have JD5. Like, it's kind of lining up for the Cowboys to maybe they can make something happen, but they're going to have to keep scoring 40 a game because they needed DBs.
Maybe the timing of it is what shocked me the most because, like you said, they just got bell-tasked by the Cardinals, and it kind of seemed like, the only thing they were relying on this whole season was their offense, and now it's like, well, now that's pretty inconsistent, so what can we lean on? So, I don't know, maybe it'll put some juice in them, and maybe we'll see it.
I mean,
you'll see it changing.
Going back to, like, Sauce Gardner, though, is he really worth 2 firsts? Like,
I don't know
if Sauce is the same Sauce, bro. I'm not saying he's not as good as he used to be, but he hasn't been playing as good as he used to be. Now, did the money get in his head or what? Is it too much on
think he's still good.
I don't know. I think he's going to be a good pickup for the Colts, and the Colts are literally, like, all in on a Super Bowl in 2025. Like, that is crazy. You wouldn't have said that last year.
With Daniel Jones at the helm.
Daniel Jones last year either, but, like, the fact that they went all in on the defense says and, like, points to the signs of, all right, we're going to stick with Daniel Jones, too, and we trust this guy to go give us on a run, which is pretty crazy to talk about in the Big 2-5, because in the little 2-4, we wouldn't have said that.
Little 2-4. Ben, you got anything else?
Yeah, I don't. 2 picks, yeah, it kind of depends. Because, I mean, the way they're looking, they would have had, a late first rounder. I don't think you're going to get a DB that's Sauce Gardner level. And then your next one in the year, you might be good again, I would think, and it's kind of interesting, but I think it might be worth it if it pans out and if he plays well, as long as he doesn't get injured, because I think the way they were looking, they were just going to have 2 late firsts anyways. And as long as now they just got to make sure they retain a couple of people out of free agency, but that situation is so good, and I think it's kind of a perfect situation for any vet that has any sort of experience. They got one of the best O-lines. They got the best running back. They got a great tight end, a great wide receiver room. They got a good defense. They just kind of needed a corner, and they got it. So they're a little scary. I'll say that.
Do you think that maybe, like, their thinking was, we'll have 2 first rounds probably later in the draft the next 2 seasons, for sure this season. Like, are we going to get a player at the level of Sauce Gardner potentially with these 2 picks? Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. And then, it's a little interesting because the Steelers, that defense was really good. They got 6 turnovers.
They're playing like they should be. The Steelers defense played like we thought.
Yeah, and I think that's Mike Tomlin. That's Mike Tomlin for you.
Yeah,
so good. And his scheme is so good. He knew how to attack him, and he struggled. He looked bad. I don't think that's going to be every game now because he kind of did that in 22 with the Giants. They started off really good. I think they started 7-2, and then they kind of fell off, and they barely scraped in the playoffs. And I don't think that's going to happen this time with Jones. I think the O-line is too good. Everything around him is too good, and I think he'll figure it out. But that team is super good, and there's really only a couple teams I think can challenge them. And especially after picking up Sauce, yeah.
Think about the Jets' perspective, though. Like, Aaron Glenn's having a rough first year at a cursed franchise, without a doubt. But, like, trading away your 2 best defensive players for some draft capital, okay, I can maybe see that. They got Mozzie Smith, big whoop. I mean, everybody wanted him out of Dallas anyways. But, like, trading away your 2 best defensive players as a defensive coach, and Aaron Glenn used to be a DB in the NFL, and he trades away one of the best in the league, that's interesting. Like, it almost makes you think, was there maybe a locker room thing recently on this losing season that they've had, that maybe they're like, okay, Sauce doesn't really align with Aaron Glenn's vision in a locker room too, but we can also get 2 first rounds for that. I don't know, because, like, Jets need a lot of help, and 2 first-round draft picks get you started, but I don't know. It could take a while to rebuild that. Honestly.
Yeah, and you don't even know if Glenn was a part of that trade, though.
Yeah.
Like, he could have been it could have been against what he wanted, but he's not the GM. But I think you can't, especially in the NFL, for a team that's always been bad, and especially a dude who's coming in off a coordinator position. You saw Campbell with his first year with the Lions. What was that? 4 wins.
He was terrible.
In the next year, and then you kind of get it figured out. Kind of get the players you want. Yeah, your 2 best players are gone now, so it's kind of hard.
It took a few years to get going.
Yeah, odds are against him now. Now it's going to take a couple years, I think. We'll see what happens. You
I
never
have
know.
faith
But
in Aaron Glenn, just like
I do too.
you should have had faith in Ben Johnson, which he's kind of already proved to us he's going to be a head coach in Chicago for some years now with the way they're rolling, and they look like a playoff team. And like, what world did we think Chicago would be playoff contender type of team? Because they really are this year.
With a franchise quarterback too.
I think Caleb's only going to get better. I don't like the Caleb slander. I think he's a good dude. I think he's athletic athlete.
Tough being in a class with Drake May and Jaden Daniels though.
There's only from the games I've watched, Caleb is so good at avoiding sacks and throwing on the run. It's just a couple of times, he has a little too much zip on it. Kind of like Bo Nix too, I've seen. And he kind of misses high a lot of times, but he's so good with the throw on the run, evading sacks. I think him, Nix, and Lamar has struggled with the sacks this year, but watching them, because those are the two teams I've watched the most this year, actually, it's the Bears and the Broncos, and they're both really good at avoiding sacks. So, I think it's only up from here for Caleb Williams, and if you're a Bears fan, I think this time you're actually, you can be excited.
I agree with you, Ben. The way, he runs out of the pocket and he zips. It was that last touchdown of Colson Loveland where he's running out, and just the way he just launches it in there, was able to squeeze it between two defenders, and kind of allowed Colson Loveland to be able to escape a little bit. So maybe that little extra zip is kind of an advantage where, maybe sometimes when a guy's 5 yards down the field, you don't want to, break his fingers, but it worked out for him. And he's looked a lot better.
Humble brag side note. I've been following Caleb Williams since he was in high school. I've been known about it.
Is he from Texas?
No, he's from the DMV area.
Okay.
I forgot what high school he went to, but they had like purple helmets with like the eagle wings on them, look just like those eagle helmets.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, I've been knowing about Caleb since high school, and it's crazy that he's has so many haters because he's always been that dude, honestly.
Was he pretty nationally recognized from like his sophomore, junior year, or was it just like a late
his
bloomer?
junior-ish year I found him, or senior year, yeah.
Okay, so you've been on the Caleb train for a while.
I have, brother.
That's good. Well, going on with the Jets too, because they were obviously a part of these deals. 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years, and in a 2027 class, 3 picks that is set to be a loaded class. That's a draft class with like Ryan Williams, Jeremiah Smith, like all those good receivers. So, what do you think? What do you think it? Well, not what do you think it happened. How do you think the Jets will handle, these picks? Because historically, obviously, it's not good. But do you see like maybe a changing of the guard a little bit with Aaron Glenn at the helm, that maybe they'll make the right move instead of the flashy move?
I think if you believe in Glenn, you take his advice for the picks, right, and then how he wants to build a team, and what the type of game he wants to run. But that's a lot of picks. So I mean, a couple of them got to hit. You can flop, obviously, and when you think about the Jets, they usually do flop. But I mean, get a QB, see if they hang on to Breece Hall. Probably not. I don't know. I thought he was gonna. I thought he was
for
a
sure. Goner. Yeah.
I'm so glad the Chiefs didn't pick him up, because that would have opened up their running game so well. But as long as they get the right pieces, I mean, there's a lot they could do. They have Wilson. I'm an Adonai Mitchell believer. So now I think they have 2 good receivers, I think, and then I think Mason Taylor's pretty good, so I think they got weapons. Now they've seen a quarterback, maybe a better O-line, and try their best to replace those defensive pieces, because it is hard losing Sauce and Williams.
I would hope they don't go quarterback this year, honestly.
Maybe not this year.
Yeah, I don't think this year either.
First of all, they got to find some freaking O-linemen. They got to figure that out, and I think they should build a run game first around Justin Fields, who's literally a running quarterback, because that'll only help him get better. I don't think
you think they'll hold on to Williams?
To Justin Fields.
To Justin Fields this year.
I think they should hold on to him until next year, unless some crazy thing happens in free agency or something. Like Kyler Murray's one guy that's probably going to pop up. We can talk about that in a minute.
I'm already seeing that rumor. I'm already seeing the edits.
I think they should stick with Fields for another year, just because. I mean, why not? I don't think this is a year to go grab a quarterback, and I could be wrong. But 2027 looks a lot better for a quarterback, which that can go so many different ways, though. I mean, quarterbacks are tricky, and then you don't want to throw anybody into the fire in New York unless it's Jackson Dart, apparently.
Right.
It's such a tricky situation. But they need to find O-linemen. I think they have decent enough receiver core to sustain until 2027. And then when they can get a guy like Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams, Jordan Tyson's going to be in this year's draft. I don't know. I think they've got to. Some of those have got to hit, like Ben said. But look at how Detroit drafted. Aaron Glenn was a part of that. Hopefully he took some ball knowledge from that, and they listen to what he's saying. Because if you're going to be bought in on a guy like that, you need to let him have some control over who he's coaching.
Yeah, agreed. Ben, you got anything else on the? We spent a lot of time talking about the Jets. We don't have to keep going, but you guys got anything else before we move on?
Yeah, QBs are so unpredictable. I mean, because going last year, going to this year, the class is going to be good. You got Klubnik, you got
Drew Allard.
You got Allard, you got multiple
Garrett
guys.
Nussmeier.
Yep, and guess what? Now they're all
Bunch
I don't
of
know.
chitters.
Guys that aren't going to be in the NFL.
Yeah, and
who knows? Fernando Mendoza may come out to be one of those dogs. You don't ever know.
I like John.
You never know. Yeah, you never know because people were dogging the Dart decision, right? And look, now he's balling out.
I was one of those guys.
I think it's so hard. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. For quarterbacks, I can never read them. I don't think anyone really can. It's so hard. And it's up to them too to adjust in the NFL themselves.
I think patience is a virtue in this league, and that's something I don't think the Jets have had. Because obviously looking at how good Sam Darnold has been now with the Seahawks and previously with the Vikings, just shows that like these guys take time, and that like maybe a 23-year-old isn't like necessarily ready to like be handed the keys to the franchise.
In New York, we're talking about one of the most gruesome Hall of Fame menaces to society markets.
Yeah,
that there is.
The media is the worst.
Yeah, that's one of the worst places to like be thrown into the fire. Somehow Jackson Dart has ran away with it, but it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, we'll put a bow on that. I just have one more thing on the deadline. The Seahawks acquiring Rashid Shaheed from the Saints for, I think, a steal, a 4th and a 5th round pick. I think this might be the steal of the draft. Rashid Shaheed's a great receiver, already on a Seattle team that is very good defensively and has Jackson Smith and Jigba, but maybe needed like that one more guy to kind of throw in the mix there, and I think that was the perfect guy to do it.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk too much on it because you just said everything right. That is a steal. They watch out. They could be in the NFC chip for, watch out, literally.
Yeah, he definitely expands their deep ball, right? And I thought the Broncos might actually get him because, they
don't like Troy Franklin as your number 2?
I mean, he's getting better, right? But still, like, that whole receiver room is still tight in too. It's just so inconsistent, and it's just, and they like to run a lot of screens. And don't get me wrong, Marvin Mims, all-pro returner for a reason. Watching him on punt return is insane, right? But for that, he's out right now. But for that screen guy, that you want to have like the wheels and take the top off the defense, not so much, right?
That's who Shaheed is, though.
Yeah, that's who Shaheed is. So that's why they were looking at Waddle or him.
Yeah.
And they didn't get anything done, and so
in Miami. I feel bad for him.
I can't believe Mike McDaniel's still in Miami.
For real.
Yeah.
I feel bad for anybody that's in Miami right now.
Yeah. Or Las Vegas.
If they're playing football, I feel bad for them. If they're just living there, I bet they're having A1 time.
Yeah, you got to imagine you leave the practice field and you're like, oh yeah, I live in Miami. This isn't so bad.
Yeah.
Pretty nice, actually.
I think that's why so many people like Denver. Not to throw it to them, but
it's a destination spot, man.
But we don't got to
get a great city.
Yeah, we don't got to get into that, but
Denver's actually really goated. I'm not even gonna lie, I've been there.
Yeah, Denver's one of the best. Colorado, just in general, goated. All right. Do you guys want to talk about Monday Night Football? I had a few questions about the Cardinals. If you guys want to go into it, and if you guys got anything about it, please chime in. But let's get into it. Monday Night Football recap. Cardinals 27, Cowboys 17. Kind of, in my opinion, the shock upset of the week, maybe besides the Panthers over the Packers, but we don't have to talk about that. So what do we make of this Arizona Cardinals team without Kyler Murray? Because it seems like when they lost Murray, that the season already maybe didn't have a bright future, but it kind of seemed lost at that point. And now with Jacoby Brissett, I think they're dangerous, and I maybe not playoff contention, but they're definitely gonna steal more wins, and maybe I don't know, maybe end with 6-7 wins on the season. Jonathan Gannon might keep his job another year. What do you guys think?
All right, so I'm a Cardinals fan, right? Really, I'm a Kyler Murray fan, and then he plays for the Cardinals, so I watch the Cardinals over for the Cardinals. They've lost 5 games. Started off 2-0, barely scrapped through against the Saints and the Panthers. They lost 5 in a row by a combined 13 points, I think. And we're talking about one of those is to the Colts too. This Cardinals team, like, I don't understand them. It's impossible. They're probably a cursed franchise. But I do agree, even as a Kyler Murray fan, that they are better off with Jacoby Brissett because of the way Brissett runs the offense. He runs it like a true vet, a dude that's played football before. Kyler is too focused on his athleticism and knowing that, okay, well, maybe because of this play call I don't really like it, I can still go make a play myself. Jacoby is trusting what the worst offensive coordinator in football, Drew Petzing, is calling, which I don't know how you could do that.
Nick Haley would like a word.
No, Drew Petzing is god-awful. That's why Marvin Harrison Jr.'s career reception high is, 7 or 8, that he just got
6.
on Monday night.
Yeah, that's
6.
insane. Way
That's
too
Brother,
low.
6. I saw that too, and I didn't even believe it.
That is
Way
a
too low.
generational talent sitting in your wide receiver room. Every time.
You're just letting him waste away.
When they feed him the ball early and often, dude. And I don't know how an NFL coordinator doesn't see that, and maybe I don't know ball, but it blows my mind. And the Cardinals have had so many injuries, especially to the running back room. They're on practice squad backs right now. So the fact that Jacoby's able to come in and do what he's doing with a pretty weak receiver room too. Michael Wilson's pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who's even number 2 in Arizona? Michael Wilson.
Michael Wilson, he's a big dude. He can go make contested catches, but so can Marv. Then they got Greg Dortch. He's all right. He's kind of speedy, but they just dump him off to screens and underneath stuff. It's nothing crazy. But then Trey McBride is a top 3 tight end in National Football League without a doubt. They have pieces, is what I'm saying. And I don't know how they're 3-5 now. They should be a lot better. They should be fighting for the playoffs right now. They did lose like 2 games in a row this year to Seahawks and Niners off walk-off field goals, games they should have won. They lost to the Titans because of that crazy Fumborooski.
Yeah, that was insane.
That was terrible. I hated watching that. But Monday night, they got Walter Nolan, their first-round draft pick out of Ole Miss, D lineman, his first NFL game, and he came up huge. They've got pieces on that defense. They've got
Will Johnson as well, Michigan. Yeah.
They've got dudes, and I think maybe next year for the Cardinals, and I don't know if that's going to be with Jacoby Brissett or Kyler, but Kyler literally just today got announced he's out for at least the next 4 weeks. He's on IR, and Call of Duty comes out in 9 days, so apparently that's what he's doing.
Shocker.
That's what the internet said. I'm tired of Call of Duty jokes, but
I was
after this.
I was going to say the same exact thing, because I was going to say they have pieces on both sides of the ball, right? And because they look good, and they have Harrison, they have McBride, and Brissett. I was going to say, yeah, Kyler just looks like he tries to do too much, and Brissett is just, I mean, he's a vet, right? So he just keeps it simple, and I mean, it clearly looks like that's what the offense needed, right? At least, with their situation. But yeah, Harrison looks so good. McBride, I'm a big McBride fan. He's my favorite tight end in the NFL. But yeah, and also I thought at the time, when they got Will Johnson, I thought he was the steal of the second round, and
Me too.
just because he dropped so far. I mean, he was supposed to go over Barron, right? At
He's
least that's what they were
projected
thinking.
like a top 10 pick.
Yeah. Well, the same thing with Barron too, and then they both fell. But like, regardless, he was a first round pick, and he fell. So I thought the Cardinals had a great draft. It's just whatever's going on there, they got to figure that out. But they definitely have pieces. That's all I got to say.
They're in a weird spot too, where like they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna steal a few games, and like the quarterback class, as we mentioned earlier, is also like weak enough that like they're not gonna be in a place to get one of these guys. So, like, do you maybe, I don't know, give Kyler one more chance again to like maybe earn his money, or do you like what do you do? Like who's? I mean, and I don't think the answer is Jacoby Brissett unless he just finishes the year balling out. Then
He's not going to win a Super Bowl.
Right,
We already
yeah.
know he's not a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
probably not going to even make like a quarterback who's going to get you to the playoffs. Respectfully.
But he's good, dude. Like, he goes out there and he balls out. He's playing better in, three or four games than Kyler has all year combined.
He's probably the best backup in the league.
Yeah, and it
A
literally
guy that you can actually trust
crushes
to go
me-
in there.
crushes me as a Kyler fan to watch this happen, and Jacoby Brissett practically ending his tenure in Arizona probably. But, like, I don't know if they give him another year. Like, they paid him so much money, you might as well. My hope is that he's learning from Jacoby, and he can come back and make the offense simple, and then whenever it's needed, use his athleticism to go win football games. Because he still makes crazy plays. Like that's why I like watching him. Like
Still
he's so
insanely athletic too. Yeah.
That's why I like him because he just makes crazy plays with his legs and he can still make some crazy throws, but he just playing boneheaded football.
Ben, you got anything else on this before we move on to our Broncos talk?
Man, I have no idea about the Kyler situation because I think he's good enough. Like if a bottom tier team, like we were talking about the Jets, some were saying maybe the Raiders want to pick him up, right? Because Geno has been atrocious, but yeah, we'll see.
That's not going to be much better.
I think
in my opinion.
I think he just has to take a leap. Yeah, I think he has a higher ceiling though. He
He's
just has
in,
to take a
year
leap.
7. He's in year 7, dude. We don't
Yeah,
got enough
like-
time to wait on you to take a leap anymore.
That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah.
No,
like,
he
there's
just,
no more
he just has to
development with
simplify.
you, man.
No, he just has to simplify things. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Right, which you can do, but I know it's year 7, and my example is year 2, which we're getting to him. We're getting to him.
All right, man. We'll move on from that. I'm glad we got some Kyler Murray talk in as well. All right. So this past weekend, Broncos 18, Texans 15. This was a pillow fight, absolute pillow fight. Atrocious offensive performances from both teams. But the defense, man, that's what wins you championships and what wins you games in Houston, I guess, because Texans defense came up big. Obviously, Davis Mills comes in I think it was the second quarter for C.J. Stroud after a pretty vicious concussion. But
I mean,
go ahead, Ben.
that's the top 2 defenses in the league, in my opinion, going at it, right? And you get a defensive game, and there's a lot to take away from that game from both sides. Once again, the defense looked good. I know Stroud, got injured and had to leave, and so that's what's being said online is they barely beat Davis Mills, but that defense is elite, right? I mean, so good, right? And that game was rough to watch because just accuracy problems. That game from Bo Nix, hold on, I got my Broncos.
Broncos sweater.
thing.
Let's
It's
go.
like
Right,
the
but-
third time I've seen you wearing that this week, bro. Wash it.
I wash it. What are you talking about? It's clean, man. That's crazy. I got the dirty allegations, but don't worry.
The dirty
I'm washing
allegations.
it. I'm washing it. Don't worry. And then also, back to it. But it was rough to watch. But I guess in the NFL, you take the wins when you can, especially against at least a team that's at least amazing on one side of the ball, right? Defensively. And I also do think watching the games, there's Bo Nix, he has his moments where you're like, dude, are you serious? Like, come on, bro. And then also later that game, then he does everything he should do, and then the wide receiver core lets him down. Now, don't get me wrong, Sutton's amazing. Troy Franklin can make plays, but that's 3 weeks in a row now Sutton has dropped a huge pass, right? He dropped a touchdown against Dallas. He only got 1 reception. That's the 3rd time he's only gotten 1 reception because he's not really a big separation guy. He's throw it up to him and he can catch it. I think he's one of the best, if not the best, in the league at doing that. But that hasn't been in the game plan this year, and basically this is watching Bo Nix is, wow, that is a top that is a top throw. That is a top QB right there in the league. That is insane. The way he can zip it, find a tight window, and then the next time you're like, what are you doing? Right? You just miss low on an easy comeback route so it's interesting. Difference, we're talking about Kyler, his difference from year 1 to year 2, he has simplified it a little bit. Trusting his own line is a lot better, right? So that's good to see, right? Because I've seen a lot of QBs too, they'll leave when, they still have time. They still have a pocket, and they try to abandon it. And the only thing I complain about that for Nix is I know that's kind of how half the time that's the way the play was drawn up is a quick release, and the other times he'll check it down when he still has a clean pocket, right? Or the pocket is just now beginning to collapse, and he still has time to maybe do something, right? Because he's so good at avoiding sacks. He has the lowest sack rate, partially due that's his offensive line, but he's also I'm pretty sure he has the best pressure to sack rate ratio.
He's incredibly mobile as well. I think that's another.
And he's so good, and he's so good on the run, like throwing the ball on the run. Like honestly, I think he's better than his feet set. The throws I've seen him make, and then just a couple of times you're like, okay, it's 3rd and long. I know you, in QBs in their head, they have a timer. Like, okay, you can't hold on to the ball too long in this league, right? But he'll still have a clean pocket, and he checks it down to the short route, and we're basically giving up on 3rd down, or they are. But other than that, I think he's been good this year. I know, like, the rating hasn't, he's had his ups and downs, and we'll just see if he can put together a good streak. But he's played before that Texans game. He still threw for 2 touchdowns. They were both over 20 yards. I mean, he threw 2 dots, right? And so, I mean, he shows his ups and downs. And for the rest of the year, see if he can put it together like he did last year.
Think there's any cleaning up they need to do before they start this next half of the season? I saw a stat during the game that they lead the league in penalties and penalty yards, which is kind of shocking for me for a team that's 7-2. Correct me if I'm wrong, 6-2. But either way, atop of their division, a very stacked division. I kind of found that that stat to be a little shocking, but also too.
Hey, all right, let me say this. A lot of the calls I've seen on defense, I've not been happy watching this year. All right, shout out Raleigh Moss because I think he's the best corner 2 in the league. All right, he's opposite of, I think he's a CB1 for a lot of teams. I think he's opposite of Pat Surtain. I think is one of the best players in football, right? And even though he's out, and he stepped up in that role, and he did pretty good against the Texans, and he just gets targeted the most, literally the most, because he has Pat Surtain on the opposite side, but he still holds his own. It's just really, I think the only. He's had trouble with the DPIs, but it's really those physical receivers. So, he's really struggled against, T. Higgins and really those guys who are just more physical instead of, separators. But nonetheless, still amazing. And a lot of the DPIs on him have been weak and very frustrating. So have a lot of the calls. But I'll take it because a couple years ago, I think they were the most disciplined team in the NFL, at least one of, and they were buns. So if that's the trade-off, I'll take it.
Has it cost you? I haven't watched much Broncos football this year. Has it cost you guys games like these penalties?
Well, there was. I'll tell you one against the Colts. They should have beat the Colts. They really could be the number 1 seed because I know there's Bo Nix said himself, we could be 5-4, we could be undefeated on a couple plays, all right. But they still, nonetheless, they either blew it themselves or they came back themselves. But the one game they won against the Colts and that leverage penalty, and I watch every field goal highlight now I see on my feed, and every field goal in a Broncos game, there is a leverage every single time. So I don't know where they got that. But nonetheless, they move. We move. It doesn't matter. But it almost blew them the Giants game with that DPI on Moss was weak. It almost blew them. See, what's ironic is the one against the Giants was terrible. They might have had one against the Eagles, and it didn't get called, so maybe they got saved there. But I like what I'm seeing. It's just very frustrating sometimes because, they've already played 7 one-possession games, and they played 7 all of last year. And even though they were 1-6 in those, and now they're 5-2, so it's very. I think winning I saw this online here, and I agreed with this point. When they beat the Eagles, I think it was better that they beat them by 1 possession than they did by 2, because it showed them that they could win actually 1 possession games, because the weeks prior they blew 2 games. They blew against the Colts and they blew it against the Chargers because, man, the Chargers, I hate seeing the Chargers, man.
I just saw you
they own the Broncos, but every time the Broncos outplay them and then the Broncos blow it, right? And so that's annoying, but they have a shot. I wanted to see them make a move, and because the tight end game has been terrible. Evan Ingram has dropped so many balls. Everyone else is hurt. They brought in, Lewis, 41-year-old Lewis. I mean, come on, guys. That's our tight end room.
I love that, man.
I wanted them to get another wide receiver to expand it because Sutton, the unction. Sutton hasn't seen too much, and they didn't make any moves. So, can I see this team winning a Super Bowl? I mean, with that defense, yes. But, offensively, they're going to have to pick it up. Although they've had big games. They've already scored more than 30 points, more times than last year, right?
You got the Chiefs on who started on a down year, so as long as you can maintain that lead over them in the division, it doesn't matter how good they do. You just got to win it up.
That's why I'm so glad the Chiefs didn't get Breece Hall, because their run game, Pacheco and Hunt. They have a terrible run game, right? I don't think they're good running backs, right? At least running the football. I guess Hunt is a pretty decent receiving back. Off the eye test,
they've been leaning heavily on passing this year, though. And you
saw the Bills shut them down with a dime set. They had 6 DBs out there, trusting their own their box defenders to stop that run and do what they can, and to have 6 DBs out there. And Pat Surtain's going to be hurt the first game they play him. That's unfortunate. At least as of now, that's what I think. But they could still do that, right? And so I have faith in the Broncos, and I know the last year, they played the backups and blew them out, but they should have beat them. The first time they met last year, that blocked field goal. And there was a whole lot of devil magic going on, right? Because how do you win 17 one-possession games? That's crazy. I mean, that's just a team that knows how to win. You saw them go to the Super Bowl. So that's why I like about this Broncos team is they've shown they can win one-possession games, right? The Chiefs went to the Super Bowl, and I think all but one game last year was or 2 games last year was like one possession, and they won most of them. So I think if you want to win a Super Bowl, you got to win one-possession games, and that's what I like.
I think anyone knocking the they only win by one possession thing, I kind of to what you said, Ben. I think it's impressive that they are able to win those one possession games because it's just good coaching. It's just
because they.
Maybe a little black magic as well, but
they were 1-6 last year in one possession games. 1-6. I mean, you know
That's
how
insane.
frustrating that was. I mean, that was rough. I mean, because every time they feel like they somehow came up short and they blew it. So, hey, I'll take like the Bo Nix narrative where he has been better in the fourth quarter. I mean, the stats prove it. Hey, if you can especially with the defense he has. If you could show up in the fourth quarter, you can win games. I think it's better than being suck-ass in the fourth and always blowing games. I think it's better to be better in the fourth and close out games strong.
yeah, that's the 49ers, man. That's how they made that Super Bowl run in 23. But I mean, obviously lost in the end. But Kaden, you got anything on the Broncos too? They are playing Thursday night. I just saw they are playing Thursday night against the Raiders. That. I mean, I'm not going to guarantee a blowout, but that is kind of what I guess I'm leading on. You guys have anything different to say to that?
Don't be surprised if it might be close. I don't think it will because I think the defense is too good, right? And I think the offense, even if they're playing mid that day, they'd be better because that defense.
They now have
Vegas
no
defense,
receivers.
They
lost
now
to
that
Kobe
Vegas,
Myers.
they had Bowers though, and every time we played, last year both games, PS2 was shadowing Bowers, and now there's no PS2, so someone's gonna have to step up. Who gonna step up?
Riley Moss against Brock Bowers.
Riley Moss or Barron. Barron's been playing a lot of slot, although he played 50%. Like their first round pick, he played 47% of snaps against the Texans, and that was his highest all year. Right, so and I think he's been good. I think he's been good, so they're working towards it. But they're wearing the Orange Crush unis. They're at home.
Oh, that's insane vibes.
And they're amazing in the Orange Crush. I expect maybe a blowout against the Raiders, though. You never know. I'm always this team. Yeah, I mean, this is their first year back to being like really good, so I'm always just questionable.
Yeah, right.
About like how confident I am in them.
You
right?
have PTSD from previous years.
Yeah, I'm not overly confident. I always set it down so you're never, not as disappointed as much. But I will say, unrelated, Orange Crush, and then if the Raiders can come out with the silver numbers. The white and the silver instead of the black.
A good Thursday night jersey clash.
Yeah, instead of the black outlined by the silver, you do the silver outlined by the white or whatever.
Yeah, I love those.
That'd be heat.
That would be heat. Kaden, you got anything, man?
Dude, Broncos are a good football team. I'm not
overall. Yeah,
I'm not shocked by it. Sean Payton is one of the better coaches ever. So I think the AFC is up for grabs, and it comes down to 2 shockers like the Broncos and the Colts, and that would be electric.
Don't forget the Patriots either.
Yeah, those 3 teams, I would love to see them match up in the divisional and championship game.
I don't think the Patriots are as good as their record says.
You don't think so?
I think their schedule is like the easiest in the league.
Drake May, brother. Drake May.
No, I think Drake May's amazing. I think he's amazing. I just don't think they're as good as their record shows. Like I think the Broncos are better than them. I just think the Patriots, like their strength of schedule has just been terrible.
Yeah, I'm looking at their wins, and really the only win of note is the Bills because you got one over the Dolphins. The Panthers, who are pretty good, but not the same Panthers team that we see now. Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons. So yeah, pretty bad teams.
They
and you got
scored
ones over.
32 on that Browns defense, which is kind of impressive.
That
I
is
know
true,
but I think offense, but still,
yeah, I think
Drake May has took them to a whole different level, and they don't have a running game. They don't have a running game. Ramondre Stevenson has like a million fumbles. Travion Henderson hasn't been who we thought he was so far. Drake May is just literally throwing it to year 57 Stephon Diggs and finding a way to win.
Who's looked awesome, by the way. I was going to mention has
he
looked
good, but
great.
I mean, he's at the bottom end of his career, and Drake May's making it work with. It's hard to get an older receiver and make something happen. And
get ready to be a father, buddy. Get ready to be a father, buddy.
Get ready to be a
father.
father.
Win them some
go take care of your son, man.
No, I think that's why the Patriots were a good matchup for the Browns. or a bad matchup for the Browns, because I think the Browns, their best part of their team is that run defense. I mean, they've held everyone down. Like, I mean, Derrick Henry, I mean, Jacob, everyone, right? And
yeah, Myles Garrett is like quietly having a career year as well.
When you have a run D centered defense, and the team is so good at passing, with shout out Drake May because he's so good, and they have no run offense. I mean, they're just going to sling it anyways, and so I think that's why they were a good matchup. And so I'll still stand behind it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And this is nothing on Drake May. I just don't think the team as a whole this year, I think they're going to be very, very good in years, next year, even just next year maybe, right? Like contenders wise, but right now I think they're maybe the worst top seed in the, in one of the best teams by record wise.
Interesting.
Just because their schedule, like I know that they scraped by the Bills on the road. On the road, yeah, they beat the Bills on the road, but I think May kind of struggled that game, and then they were able to scrape by. And didn't they get a defensive touchdown that game too? I could be wrong. I don't know, but regardless, I just need to see them beat more good teams like the Broncos. I mean, come on. I mean, they beat the Eagles. They blew it against the Chargers. They should have beat the Colts. I mean, they've shown that they can play against good teams. It's just a couple times they play down or up to the level.
Yeah, agreed. Do you guys want to go on to this coming weekend now? Talk about the games that we want to preview for this week?
I'm ready.
Let's do it, man. All right, let's go to the first game. Rams-Niners in Levi's in Santa Clara, California. A home game for the Niners. Niners play really good at home. They're 6-3 on the season. They've already played the Rams. I forgot. Did they lose that game?
It was
No, they won. Yeah, that's right. They won in overtime and they won. That's right. Because I remember talking to Mason about it, being so excited and then being pissed in the end, but they did. I remember they did come out and win. And I feel like since then, like the Brock Purdy, it's always been like, oh, Brock Purdy's coming back this week. Brock Purdy's coming back this week, and we still haven't seen him. That turf toe must be pretty dangerous, man.
I remember that game all right because Corum fumbled. All right,
that's
and
right.
The last leg. All right, I'm gonna be honest. I don't bet anymore, right? I was just using free money. Okay, I was using promo bets. So, Mom, if you're watching this, I'm not a degenerate gambler, but Corum was my last leg, and I had him over 21 yards. He got one rush attempt or two, got 14 yards, fumbled, and he didn't get in the game ever again. McVay said, yeah, I hate you. Oh, but the worst fumbler in the NFL the last 2 years, his leash is a mile long.
And literally fumbled the next offensive possession.
Yes. And then he gets all the carries and all the looks. So I'm kind of mad at McVay for that. But for this week, is Nakua playing for sure? I know he's
questionable right now. I'm looking at the injury status. He's questionable. Darius Williams, one of their corners, is questionable. And then the Niners, Ricky Pearsall is questionable, which they've been banged up on. The Niners have been the most injured team in football, and I hate it because they're so good. Brandon Ayuk was supposed to come back this week. I saw maybe. He's estimated to come back week after this. And then Brock Purdy is still questionable with that toe for this week, which Mac Jones has been balling, I think. But
so maybe you don't rush Purdy back.
I would love to see Purdy back out there. I just feel like it's been all year since we've seen him.
Yeah,
that's what you get when you have to sacrifice a player every week to keep McCaffrey healthy. Right, because that is there's an evil at work there keeping that man healthy. There's an evil there's an evil at work keeping him healthy. I'm not for 30 touches a game, right?
Yeah, I mean, the amount of touches he's getting to is atrocious.
Right, and his injury history, okay, yeah, and
like the most he's ever gotten.
I mean, aren't the Niners the most injured team every single year?
Yeah, this is
up with that. I don't know if it's their facilities.
Dude, Matthew Stafford has 21 touchdowns and 2 interceptions on the year. He has been playing insane for 39, 40 years old.
For a guy who was questioning retirement this offseason too.
I mean, they have they got a great defense. Obviously, I'm not trying to argue against it. I'm just what the system he's in.
No, they're all around
great
probably
defense,
one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, great defense. They have a solid run game, a good run game if Kyron can break off. They have one of the best receiving, Devontae and Puka. They have a McVay who's a great coach. He runs a great system. If you're a QB or a wide receiver one in that system, I mean, you're going to look good, really good. Not trying to diss that anyone can do it, right? But I'm just saying.
Definitely a better chance of doing it.
They look good, yeah.
Especially if you're as good as Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
All right, do you guys got anything else on that game? We usually do picks.
What's our picks? That's what I was going to ask.
I'll say. I mean, I am a Niners fan, but my football brain says take the Rams, so that means I have to take the 49ers. So
Are they in San Fran?
They are in San Fran. Yeah, they're at Levi's.
I think with all the injuries, I'll go Rams, but any NFC West game I watch is always
But
usually
man, they just
war.
always pull it out, though. You know, Robert Saleh just finds a way, and they always pull it out. So
Yeah.
I was gonna say that is one of the. I think that's the toughest division in the league when it comes to those head-to-head matchups. Dude, it's always a freaking fight, dude, and that's why I hate the Cardinals being in that division because they're obviously the worst team in it this year. But I like the Niners at home.
Yeah,
Let's go,
you know
man.
what? I'm actually going to take
Bang, bang.
off of their last week. I'm going to take the Niners.
Let's
and
go,
even if it's
man.
last second, I'm going with your Niners, dude.
Bang,
because
bang.
even
Let's
though
go.
now I could see it as a get back and they split, it's very like just like Kaden says, you never know with the NFC. Any NFC West game I watch, it's always bonkers.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm gonna go. Coming off last week, they're gonna get it done somehow. We'll see.
Well, let's get to our next 12 o'clock game, the Patriots-Bucks. Patriots 7-2, Bucks 6-2. They are in Tampa at Raymond James Field. Temperature is looking to be 81 degrees, no rain. So that's a good sign going into a football game, obviously. But we already talked about Drake May and how good they are. Let's get to the Bucks. Baker hasn't really looked like himself these past few weeks. The MVP talk has kind of died off a lot. They're still winning. They're still winning these games, but I mean, I think the injuries are finally catching up to them. What do you guys think?
If they can get Bucky Irvin back this week, I think they can go win that one. He's still questionable. It says he's supposed to return this weekend. So is Chris Godwin. So is two of their own tackles. But if they can get healthy, dude, yeah, I like the Bucks.
Yeah, and Hassan
I
Reddick,
think
too.
they're just kind of dinged up right now. And
Yeah,
Baker's he's got a great receiver core, but Evans is out for the year. Godwin's been out most of the year. He's only played like one game, and then Egbuka's just been holding it all on his shoulders.
Yeah, I think Godwin might come back this week. But I know they got Christian Gonzalez, but I expect this will be even though they're banged up, this will be the test I'm talking about for the Pats, just because it's still regardless a good team that wins games, right? No matter what their situation's looking like, and so we'll see. For my pick though, on the road, does Drake May keep getting it done? I mean.
That's the question.
I'm gonna go the Bucks actually on this one at home off the bye week. I think Baker, has a good bounce back game.
I think it's worth noting that the Patriots are undefeated on the road this season as well.
That's true.
It's a good preparation by Mike Vrabel. I will take the Patriots in this game. I just think we're seeing another Patriots dynasty being born in front of our eyes, and it's best just to accept it now rather than deny it.
Yeah, I'll probably roll with the Patriots too on the road. ESPN has the Bucks favored, but Baker hadn't been playing that good. So with the way Drake May is playing, and he's got more healthy receiver group. I like Drake May.
Okay.
So I'm riding alone on this one. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with mine. I like the Bucks.
Yeah. You gotta stick with your guns, man. Yeah. All right, let's get to this last 12 o'clock game that we'll preview. Jaguars Texans, kind of an interesting one. Jaguars 5-3, Texans 3-5. This is a game that Mason, if he was here this week, he'd be banging the table saying like the Jags are frauds, Texans are going to win. But I am not sure about that. Trevor Lawrence, I don't know what his deal is. He just has not taken that next step, and he's just an unreliable quarterback. But I also just don't trust the Texans' offense. Regardless with or without C.J. Stroud, they're just terrible. And I just don't think anything they put out there is going to be better than what the Jaguars have.
Yeah, I'm getting a feeling that they think. I don't know. I'm actually a big fan of D'Amico Ryans. But going into Jacksonville, I bet, they get a little cocky thinking they can just beat the Jaguars with Mills there under center, and I got the Jaguars. Now, it depends. I'm really going off which offense is more suck-ass, because I can see the Texans getting 2 touchdowns, the defense getting 2 touchdowns,
right.
and that's the reason they win, right? But for now, I'm going to go with the Jaguars.
I like the Jags because Travis Hunter's more involved in the offense. I think he might surprise us and go make a play this Sunday and win them a game.
It'd be cool to see a Travis Hunter breakout game.
Yeah, because I think that one game in London is just because they were down so much. That's kind of why he got all those looks. But I think also they added Jacoby Myers, and I think the lack of film with Myers maybe on the Jaguars might be a little troubling for the Texans. So, yeah, that's what I'm going.
it seems like a move for like the very first game you see, and like I picture it now. It's Sunday. I have Red Zone on. They pan the Texans Jags, and it's just like Jacoby Myers added this week, and he's got his first touchdown. And it's just like a bomb down the field, and it
That's
just
all
kind
I'm
of
thinking.
answers every. Yeah,
Deep
it's
ball.
just. Yeah, right. That just always kind of seems to be how it goes. Like it's never like a time pristine route. It's like, hey, just like sprint as far as you can, get past Stingley or Lassiter, and let's see what you can do. But I will take the Jags in this game.
Can I cut in on you? And you said that was the last 12 o'clock game, but you're a J.J. McCarthy guy, and he is back, right? I mean, he's going
He is
this
back.
week because they're playing the Ravens.
But yeah, I am a JJ guy, 100%. I will ride with my guys always, but I have this narrative about the Ravens. I think they're going to make a run, and I don't know. Vikings defense that looked good last week, but I don't know. I just think Lamar's too good, and that offense is clicking again. The defense has kind of figured it out. I think the Ravens will take that game, and I don't know. I think it'll kind of be a JJ coming down to earth a little bit game because he did have a shocking one coming back. So, and I was happy to see that, but I don't know if I see that continuing.
Yeah, I think because the Ravens are so desperate, like they need to win because, with Lamar getting hurt, they were in a terrible situation. I feel like Lamar's going to play lights out for a while. So it's going to be really rough. It's just that defense for the Ravens. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm still going to ride with the Ravens because I believe Lamar is the best QB in the world. So we're riding with that.
Well, in the
I love
5
that.
games that Lamar's played in this year, that dude has like the best passer rating ever in a 5-game stretch in NFL history.
For a guy who they were saying should be a running back, that's pretty sweet.
Right?
14
And
studs, 1 pick. I know he hadn't
he
played a
doesn't
lot.
even run as much anymore, right? His O-line has been worse, and his weapons are, I think he's got pretty good tight ends, but still, like if you got him a big name receiver, that's not 38 years old or washed or whatever, but like an actual
Hey,
big name
Diop's been
receiver.
making plays. I know who you're throwing shade
He
at.
has,
Diop-
but like he's not getting 10 receptions a game. He's making that
Yeah.
one contested,
In the year of
right? But so if you get him one of
big
those
25.
guys, I mean, like imagine, don't even get me salivating and fantasizing over here, right? Imagine if like they got Waddle. I mean, oh man,
that would be insane. It's
Right,
that
I mean,
kind of
they-
seems
'cause
like
they
a
saw-
perfect fit for him.
they saw the Broncos wanted to try to get Waddle. Oh man, just in that system, Waddle in that Sean Payton system. Oh, I'm salivating, right? But I think the Dolphins were foolish to hold on to him.
I agree, man. I just
Oh,
don't.
we-
I don't understand the gatekeeping of your good players if you're a really bad team.
Yeah, but we don't got to dive into the Dolphins situation.
We don't. Well, let's pick these other games, man, and then we could wrap it up and finish with whatever you guys want to finish with. So I didn't even realize this. We have a game in Germany this week. So Falcons Colts in Berlin. I'll take the Colts.
Colts.
Do you guys have anything about
Falcons are so they're so
that? I
weird.
hate them. I hate
They're
them.
so weird.
I hate
They
London
get
games. Every
They
London
get
game sucks.
well. Are they in Munich?
Or it's
Or
in,
Munich.
it's in
Berlin.
Germany, actually.
Oh, they're in Berlin.
Berlin. Yeah.
See,
All of these
I don't
international
know.
games suck.
I don't think that matters, man. I don't know if that matters.
No. Oh, I was just curious. I was wondering
okay,
what city
okay.
they were in. But like, the Falcons are so weird. They lose 30-0 to the Panthers, who do have a winning record, I will say. And then, they go and drop an offensive masterclass, right? So it's just you never know. Now, Drake London. What does London do in Germany?
Ooh.
Chad, is this bars?
Don't care.
Right?
He's got Sauce Gardner covering him this week.
That is true. I forget. Yeah.
That's an insane
Yeah, I'm
debut
gonna
game.
go. I'm gonna go Colts, and I would guess. I mean that. I would guess Taylor too, off of against the Steelers having his worst game on the year, because he was getting stuffed, right?
Yeah.
I think he's gonna explode. So
All right, we'll go to the next one. Giants. Oh, go
sweet
ahead. Go ahead. I'm
Colts.
sorry.
No,
You said
I
Colts.
think we all pick Colts, right? Yeah. sweet
Yeah,
Colts.
easy sweep. All right, Giants, Bears. Bears are at home. I'll take the Bears.
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 They're hot right now.
Yeah, I know, but
Giants
man.
are keeping games close.
The Giants,
They're
man.
a spread demon.
I don't think that'll be a bad game, but I like
I
to
think,
the Bears, especially going back
would like
to
to-
the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to think I'm gonna go Bears, and Adunze might have a good game, like finally a pretty good game, like an explosive game since their bye week. Because going into their bye week, he was amazing every week, and now he has been, although that's partially Caleb Williams' fault. But yeah, I guess I'll go Bears.
All right. lopsided game that I think could potentially be a big upset this week is Bills Dolphins in Miami. I know we talked about how dysfunctional they are, but it just kind of seems like the Bills drop these weird games and they don't really play well on the road. So I don't know. I'm not saying I'm going to pick the Dolphins, but I'm not. I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked to see like a big game from H-An that maybe propels them over the Bills, just maybe by 3 points.
I think that the Bills come out. I'm gonna pick the Bills, and I say that because they just got a.
Yeah, I picked the Bills. Just wanted
They
on
just
record.
got a big win over Kansas City, and I know that happens every regular season. It feels like they can't beat them in the playoffs, but that win is so big that they've got to continue that momentum, and they can't lose to a team like Miami if they want to be this championship caliber team like we've waited for them to be. So I think they can pick up the win.
Yeah, I got Bills by a lot. I think they already played each other, and so now they got a little more familiar, and so I think the Bills go in and they win by a lot. Although I love H-An, I think he's one of the best running backs in the league, but
Another guy being wasted by a bad team.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the next one. We don't have to spend a lot of time at all on this. Maybe Browns Jets. I will go ahead and take the Browns.
Browns.
Yeah, let's do Browns, but I bet it's going to be close. They're going to get in one of those games
Close
where
in like a good way, or like 6-3.
It's going to be a terrible game more often
Yeah.
like than not. The Jets are 0-5 at home, and the Browns are 0-4 away. Something's got to give this week. So let me change my pick to the Jets. I want the Jets to stay. I want the Jets.
Yeah,
I'm
watch.
riding with them.
No, this is gonna be one of those narratives where they give away their two best pieces and they win a game right after.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I've seen that too many times.
Yeah,
so
the team kind of rallies around it. Yeah.
I'm going
Some
with the Jets.
corner is going to pick off Dylan Gabriel to seal the game that we've never heard of. Sauce Gardner's replacement. Watch.
Yeah, no, I
He
see
was
it all the
washing
time.
dishes 2 weeks ago, and he just won the game for the Jets.
Yeah, no. Fans are going to be like, see, we don't need them. We don't need those two guys. Yeah, we got all these first, and then they're going to lose out the rest of the year. But they'll win this week. But they'll win this week, so I'm going with the Jets.
Aaron Glenn, victory, victory lap. All right, last 12 games. Saints, Panthers. I will take the Panthers at home. Panthers are at home. Sorry.
Oh yeah,
I don't
Rico
know.
Dowdle. Give me 2 more tuds, Rico.
Please.
I want to
Fantasy
go.
wire steal.
A voice is telling me to go to Saints just because the Panthers, like, I don't know if they're that good of a team to keep going on like that type of win streak,
Tyler
right?
Shucks
And so they they
Yeah,
have to
he's
have
awful.
they have to have some sort of bad loss, right?
Yeah.
So something is telling me it might be close, but I'm still gonna go the Panthers.
Yeah, especially where they
Rod-
had like
Rod-
a big win off the Packers. Yeah, this seems like a very Panthers thing to do would be to lose to the Saints at home.
Right, exactly, and because you saw the Saints beat the Giants,
Right.
So I mean, I'll go Panthers though. That's Rod Wave's team, so we'll go that.
All right, let's get to the afternoon. Cardinals, Seahawks. Seahawks at home. Kaden, I know you might have some things to say, but I'll take the Seahawks. I think it's pretty easy this week.
Yeah, I don't care
Shocking, they're
about
only
it.
500 at home. Both losses coming at home. Very
I don't
shocking
think
for the Seahawks.
I don't think the Jacoby Brissett really wins them this game. Sam Darnold on Monday night, holy crap. The way he's playing, and Shaheed will probably be out there this Sunday. He'll probably go over the top of that defense. I don't care how good Budda Baker or Will Johnson is. I think the Seahawks are going to find a way to win this one because their defense is just too good.
Quietly
Yeah,
one of the most complete teams in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna go defense. Yeah, I don't
Now,
see.
the Cardinals
how
usually
they-
do split about all of these games with these division teams, and they lost on Thursday night to them this year. So
We were talking about the NFC West, kind of. They love to butt heads when they're playing each other. So yeah, I could see like the Cardinals covering like a 3.5 point spread, but I just don't know if the Seahawks can lose to the Cardinals.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that defense is too good, and they just added an extra piece to wide receiver core and then Brissett, against that defense. So that's why I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals win.
Let's go.
I think the Cardinals win. I think they're going to play a good game. I think Marvin Harrison with Brissett is going to be really good. Maybe they take some. I know it was against Dallas, but they take something off that last week and use him and
True.
McBride.
Had the hot hand.
As the whole thing. So I'm going to go Cardinals. Might be wrong, but let's do it.
I wish we had a different outlook for this game. Lions Commanders in Landover, Maryland. Sorry, I almost said Missouri. But it just kind of sucks. Jaden Daniels out now with that broken arm. Terrible coaching decision by Dan Quinn to keep him out there that late in the game, down by so much, and also a guy who takes hits like in the most comically bad way possible too for his size. Like you just don't. I don't know. A guy like that, I don't want. I need him wrapped in bubble wrap if we're down by 2 going into the second half.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, you kind of already said it. That's stupid to keep him in when there's no reason for it. The injury was disgusting. The Lions are pretty banged up, but Dan Campbell is Dan Campbell, and they're going to play MCDC football. I don't see them losing to Marcus Mariota.
And I think the difference is Jahmyr Gibbs, just all around Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he's the best running back in the league.
Well, I think that Commanders' defense or secondary is terrible. So I'm expecting J-Mo and St. Brown to both get a touchdown. One of them's going to get 2. St. Brown might have one of those games where he gets 3. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be one of those games where, the Lions put up 40 plus.
You don't think so, huh? You think they won't or they will?
No, they will. I think they might
will?
put up
Okay.
50.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have to agree with that. All right, let's get to the Sunday night game, Steelers-Chargers. I think this is possibly the best game of the day, maybe besides Niners-Rams. The Steelers are shockingly. It's kind of a different story from this year, where it's like their offense is really good and their defense has kind of been shaky, but the defense has kind of stepped up these past few weeks, looking a little better. Aaron Rodgers has looked comfortable in that offense, but the Chargers are rolling again. They did lose Joe Alt again last week, so it kind of makes this a tough game to pick.
I'm gonna go Steelers because I think that defense coming off the Colts, really that Steelers front 7, but like defensive line specifically, and then the Chargers was already bad, the O-line, and now they lost Joe Alt, who I've only seen get bullied by Nick Bonito, but
who's keeping score?
No, I think the Steelers. It's gonna be rough because they're so weird on Mike Tomlin. Like they just play 500 balls sometimes, and so they'll get a good win and then a bad loss. So but I'm gonna go them. I'm gonna go Steelers over the Chargers.
Okay. I think you talked me into it.
Yeah, dude, we can't clean sweep though.
Yeah, but it also depends on what jerseys the Chargers are wearing. That completely changes.
Yeah, they're wearing that Minions bullcrap, dude. Oh my gosh.
If they're wearing that yellow jersey, keep it away from me.
It also
or the Steelers wearing that.
It also depends what Herbert we get that night.
Dude,
yeah.
What Herbert is it going to be? So
first 3 weeks of the year, I'm literally chanting Herbert's MVP.
Madison Beer, Justin Herbert, MVP.
They're gonna ball out, but dude, I'm low-key. I guess Aaron Rodgers is hated by everyone. I didn't know this. I like Aaron Rodgers. I freaking love that dude.
What? You didn't know that? I mean, I don't hate him personally, but it was just the COVID stuff. That's basically all.
Dude, I gotta go with the Steelers. I know the Chargers have been playing pretty good last couple weeks. Jim Harbaugh is a freaking GOAT. But dude, yeah, no Joe Alt and TJ Watt is about to absolutely terrorize Justin Herbert unless he does some freaky deaky stuff out of that pocket. But yeah, I like the Steelers.
I think I'm back on the Steelers because I don't know. I get lost that Joe Alt I get lost on how important Joe Alt is to that team. So yeah, I think the Steelers will pull away. Do you guys want to talk about the Monday night game, or are you ready to wrap up?
No, let's do it.
All right. Last game of Week 10, Eagles-Packers in Lambeau. I think I like the Packers in this game. Packers are quietly one of like the most complete teams in the NFC. Jordan Love is a very good quarterback. Josh Jacobs is 10 touchdowns on this season is insane already. I don't know, the Eagles, as well as they've been playing these past few weeks, there's always issues, and I feel like the AJ Brown stuff. It's something new every week. I just don't know. I think I'll go with the team with maybe the less drama. I'll go with the Packers.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because I don't see like that Packers as a team that loses 2 in a row, right? But they lost against the Panthers, and Jordan Love, he looked terrible, right? I mean,
that was his worst game of his career.
I mean, that was so bad, and it's hard for me to envision him doing 2 weeks in a row. I'm still gonna go the Eagles because last time they faced, what was that? 3 picks, 0 touchdowns in the playoffs for Jordan Love. I think he might go on a tough little stretch here before Toyotathon starts. So
Tell
I'm
me
gonna go
what
Eagle.
done.
I'm gonna go Eagles. And
Okay,
also
okay.
also that secondary. Also, I think that secondary is gonna get that Packers secondary is gonna get torched.
Yeah, this is such a. I don't like picking this game at all because you don't see the Packers losing 2 in a row, especially the second one being at home. It's 2 in a row at home. It would be, but dude, Micah Parsons, I don't feel like he's gonna make a big enough impact in the run game, and that's where the Eagles have kind of picked up lately, especially when Saquon busted out that 60-yarder. I can't remember if it was last Sunday or Sunday before, but Saquon seems to be Saquon again. And
It was the Giants that you did
I
that
hate
against, right?
the Eagles with every ounce in my body, but I have to pick the Eagles because I can't stand Caleb glazing Jordan Love anymore. I can't.
Oh, yeah, we got a lot of Packers fans at KTSW. I was very shocked by
And
that.
I hate it. It's annoying.
It's more than I've ever even been around.
Yeah, I need to bet because I keep waiting on this week of Bo Nix playing like a top QB and then Love stinking, but they're in sync. So like Bo Nix, he doesn't play as well. He still had 2 passing touchdowns, right? 2 good passing touchdowns, but still didn't play that well against the Texans. Love sucked, and then the last 2 weeks before that, they both played amazing. And so I'm just like, oh, we both up, I guess. So only time will tell at the end of the year. We'll see. Only time will tell. I'm just hoping I get another Love playoff stinker, because that would feed me.
We're due for it. We're
And
due
honestly,
for it.
that Monday night game, the way it's looking, I probably won't be able to watch it because Disney sucks. So
Oh, they're
I'll have
still
to let
doing
you know
that
how
crap,
that one
man.
goes.
Oh, I probably won't see it either. So
All right, well, that'll wrap it up, man. Fourth and Forever with our special guest co-hosts, Kaden, Bessent, and Ben Cameron from KTSW. Thank you guys so much for coming on, man. It's been great having you on. This kind of starts the rotating cast of guys from KTSW. We have so many that I would love to have come on and hear what they have to say. We have so many amazing talent over there. So, but this is just the beginning. I hope to have you guys on again soon, man. And hopefully with Mason too. You know, it'd be nice for you guys to get to talk to Mason a little bit, kind of maybe rage debate him about the Texans. So. But thank you guys for coming on, man. I appreciate it. You guys got one last thing, anything you want to plug, Instagrams you want to plug before we sign off?
Hi, bro. I appreciate you having me on, bro. Go Cardinals, baby. Let's go.
Of course,
yeah, no,
man,
I really
anytime.
appreciate it. It was really fun to talk ball for about an hour. Go Broncos, and I don't care about putting my socials, but just remember our names.
Yeah, two of the best minds we have at KTSW, and that's I was really excited to have both of you on. So thank you again. That'll wrap it up this week. Enjoy your week 10, everybody. See you.
Bang.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.